Introduction. By the time you're reading or listening to this book, there literally is no way of knowing what I'll be doing by then. I'm a serial entrepreneur, a very talented one, might I add. Creating business streams of income and growing them, that's my thing. I can be hands-on from the strategy, implementation, technical, social, and creative aspect of business. Over the years of being a full-time entrepreneur, I found myself to be like a Renaissance man, and I use all of my gifts to sow into my business, and my business sows into God's plan. I am my business, so I know that for me, God is everything. In this book, you're going to hear everything from a pro-entrepreneur angle. The lessons and insight can be applied to any journey, but it's specifically meant for the entrepreneurial journey. I want to touch on one point before we start. The realest moments. The realest moments has air quotes around them, by the way. But I remember this one time in 2017, my two closest friends stopped by my house. It was right before I moved from Raleigh, North Carolina to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Maybe 2 months prior to my big move. This was a move that separated me from everything. I knew that I won't get to see these guys on the regular anymore. We all usually saw each other like once or twice every couple weeks or so. This night that they stopped at my house to hang out, I also had some other priorities that I needed to handle for business. I did leave, and I wasn't going to be back until like maybe midnight. But about 30 minutes later, after I left the house, I came back. This is because I knew that along any growth journey a person would go on, there will be times of the realest moments. For me, at this particular time, I knew that I was about to experience major growth, which meant that it was time for me to become everything I wanted to. But the cost of this was that I was going to be moving away and separating myself from everything I've come to know. So with the thoughts that my two closest friends came to my house to kick it with me and I was leaving them there, it didn't sit well with me. I knew that this moment was too real to pass up. I came back and let them know I canceled my obligations and I was kicking it for the night. Again, the point of bringing that up is because you can't ignore your realest moments. That's your life happening. Hold on to them and cherish them, because once you really set out on this entrepreneurial journey, it has a certain loneliness to it that will make you look back on those moments and smile. But fret not. There's even more perks than negatives to it though. Present day. As I begin writing this, it's 3:28 a.m. on a Saturday night. June 25th, 2017 to be exact. Side note, I started writing on this day, but that was about it for maybe a little bit over a half a year until I picked it back up in March of 2018. But at this particular time, I had just gotten bed after a long day and a long night. I currently run 3 different businesses in addition to being an Uber driver. So actually I run 4 different businesses because being an Uber driver is technically a self-contracted business. Later on in this book, we'll address why being an Uber driver was very influential in my life. You can actually check out that whole story in a separate book I wrote called How Ride Sharing Saved My Life. It goes into detail about why I chose to drive for a ride sharing company and why every entrepreneur should try it. But anyways, as I was saying, I feel good. I mean, really good. The kind of good that satisfies the inner consciousness within the deepest personal thoughts that you can have type of feeling. So at this time, as I start typing away, I kind of started feeling overwhelmed because I literally started doing something that is very impactful on my journey. And I can't believe I finally started writing this book. I mean, come on, let's think about this. How many people do you know personally that have actually wrote a book and recording an audiobook? And I guess I should mention that I'm doing all of this on my own. I'm writing the book, I'm publishing the book, and I'm producing the audio version of this book, all on my own. But anyways, if you're like me, you can't count on one finger how many people that you know that have actually sat down and either wrote a book out manually or on the computer, let alone record the freaking audiobook. That's pretty freaking influential if you ask me. Anytime someone takes something that is figuratively nothing and turn it into something, that is a great accomplishment. Simple. And I think if someone can't understand that basic concept, they must first seek a different kind of guidance other than what I'm offering. So into the book we go. Lessons from Doing It the Cool Way. I gave this book that title simply because I'm a freaking cool guy who makes cool decisions, who thinks that the new cool is not sitting back and pretending you're too cool to do something, but instead chooses to be involved in anything and everything that progresses his or her future on your own terms. Now that's cool. Not to mention that I still like to make music just because I'm good at it and it helps me excel. My rap name is Be Cool, by the way. Plug. So let's get into this book. P.S. As a side note, throughout this book, you'll hear me refer to my closest folks by name. And just to protect their privacy though, I'm going to refer to them with alias names that are not theirs, per se. But all the context surrounding their tweaked names will be 100% real.